Hi everyone, I am Shaila from Chemistry Department. ಸೊ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಆಟಮ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್, ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್, ಸೊ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಆಟಮ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ different just ideas regarding atom you are going to get. ಸೊ ಆಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಆಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್, ಸೊ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್. Whereas compounds, they are containing mixture of atoms. Different types of atoms will be there. So if you consider a molecule, so a molecule either it will be having similar type of atoms or it will be having different types of atoms. So if I say example, hydrogen example todi. So hydrogen only H2. So two hydrogen atoms. So the similar hydrogen atoms irutte. Carbon dioxide. So what are these atoms present in carbon dioxide? So carbon dioxide ಅಲ್ಲಿ carbon ಇದೆ, oxygen ಇದೆ, CO2. So now we can distinguish there are different types of atoms with respect to different types of compounds. Now in this chapter you are going to learn in detail regarding structure of atom. So we are going to analyze the different subatomic particles which are present in an atom. So now we can consider atom is a fundamental particle, even it is capable of independent existence. So it will be participating in different types of reactions, chemical reactions you can consider. So there will be difference in the structure of atom from one element to the another element. So hydrogen example ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ hydrogen ಇರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೀಲಿಯಂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಹೀಲಿಯಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಆ ಆಟಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸಬ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನೌ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಸೊ ಮುಂಚೆ 18th ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ಮುಂಚೆ ಸೊ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್, ಯಾವ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಾಲ್ಟನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಡಾಲ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಡಾಲ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಡಾಲ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದೇ ಫೈನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉಳಿಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಆಟಮ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಆಟಮ್ನ ಫರ್ದರ್ ನಾವು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಾಲ್ಟನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 400 BC ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೀಕ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಸೊ ಆಟಮ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತದು, ಸೊ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಗ್ರೀಕ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ atomio ಆರ್ atomio. ಸೊ atomio ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕಟ್ ಫರ್ದರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಆಗ ಏನ್ಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಡೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಆಟಮ್ನ ನಾವು ಫರ್ದರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ 19th ಸೆಂಚುರಿ, ಸೊ 19th ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 20th ಸೆಂಚುರಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಮೆನಿ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ಡಿಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಆಟಮ್ನ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಫರ್ದರ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಆಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸಬ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಟಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸಬ್ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದ್ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ you know the charges possessed by them, whether they are charged or neutral in nature, you know that. So obviously we can consider there are different scientists who did many experiments for the discovery of these different subatomic particles, and even they analyzed what are the different characteristics of these different subatomic particles. So ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? ಸೊ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ the discoveries of these subatomic particles like protons, electrons and neutrons. And then you are going to learn about models of atom. So atoms ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. So you are going to learn about Thomson atomic model, Rutherford atomic model and Bohr's atomic model. And then you are going to learn about quantum mechanical theory regarding the atoms. Further, you are going to learn about what is photoelectric effect and de Broglie's wave equation, then Planck's quantum theory, and even you are going to learn about structure, that is line spectrum of hydrogen. ಅದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಏನು ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ನ ಲೈನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ Bohr's atomic model, and even you are going to learn about different fundamental theories for writing electronic configurations like that is Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So like this, in this chapter you are going to learn about different concepts one after the another. So in this first video we are going to start with discoveries of subatomic particles. Now once you get the imagination of an atom, what you can consider? So atom, it will be having very large size, and at the center of an atom there will be presence of nucleus which is present along with the proton. That means if you consider an atom which will be having of a spherical shape, we can consider there will be entity present at the center of an atom, which is that called as, that is nucleolus. So which is made up of neutrons as well as protons, and surrounding this protons and neutrons there will be revolving of electrons. So these electrons will be revolving continuously in definite circular paths. They will be called as orbits. You are going to learn all these in detail later. And now once you go for that discovery of electrons, that is nothing but we can call it as cathode rays. Either you can call it as discovery of electron or cathode rays. So this experiment was done by the scientist by name J.J. Thomson. So here this scientist, he did one simple experiment for the discovery of electron. So you already know about electrolysis process. So actually Michael Faraday was already known regarding the discharge of the electrons. That means whenever electricity is passed through an electrolyte solution, there will be discharge of different elements either on anode or cathode, and even there will be deposition will be taking place. So that also given the hint for other scientists, there will be presence of certain negatively charged particles, which now we can call them as electrons. In case if an atom containing negatively charged particles, then at the same time it should also contain what? Positively charged particles. So that means they are considered as protons, you know. So the number of electrons will be equal to number of protons. Then only we can consider an atom is said to be neutral in state. That means any atom, if it is said to be neutral in state, it contains the same number of positive particles as well as negative particles. And of course these neutrons which are present at the center of an atom, they are said to be neutral. That means their charge will be obviously zero. They are neither positively charged nor negatively charged. And of course now if you go for this discovery part, that is regarding electron. So J.J. Thomson electron ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಈಗ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Very first you can see here. So he has taken, that is one discharge tube. So that is glass tube which is nothing but called as discharge tube. That is cathode ray tube we can call it as. So here he will take one cathode ray tube In that there will be insertion of two metallic pieces. They are connected externally to a battery. So one metal at the left hand side we can consider it is connected to negative end of a battery, hence that is acting as cathode. And here this side, this electrode metallic plate which is connected to positive end of battery, hence it will be acting as anode. So what are the conditions actually required during this experiment? You should remember here he need to maintain very low pressure. So there will be introduction of certain quantity of gas. With the help of this vacuum pump, he was able to maintain the low pressure. That means in a cathode ray tube we had to fill certain gas. Any one particular type of gas we can consider. So that pressure should be maintained very low, not like 1 atmosphere. We will be getting doubt. Why can't 1 atmospheric pressure? Why very low pressure? That will be around 10 power minus 4 atmospheric pressure. So it is very low pressure actually. So you know that air is a good conductor of electricity or bad conductor of electricity. You know that air is bad conductor of electricity. So now if you want the easy movement of the cathode rays towards the anode, then we need to maintain very low pressure of the gas. Therefore, he was able to maintain the pressure of the gas inside a cathode ray, that is around 10 power minus 4 atmospheric pressure. Then here he has to maintain very high voltage. So as you know, gas is a bad conductor of electricity. Only when there is a supply of high voltage of electricity, then only there is a easy movement of the cathode rays. Now once he connected the two electrodes to external battery, then by supplying high voltage of electric current, then there was possibility for the emission of certain rays which started from either cathode or anode, that is from cathode. So once you can consider, there will be emission of cathode rays. The rays which are emitted from cathode will be considered as cathode rays. Now it is negative end, it is cathode, it is positive end, it is anode. Once you can consider the rays which are emitted from the cathode, so they are obviously moving towards anode. So he was able to just identify whether these rays are moving towards anode or not by the help of fluorescent coating. Now once there is emission of the rays from the cathode in the cathode ray discharge tube, those rays were particularly named as cathode rays. They are named as cathode rays. That means what is the origin for the cathode rays? The rays which are emitted from the cathode, they are considered as cathode rays. Therefore, origin for the cathode rays are cathode itself, that is in the discharge tube. And of course, he has taken another glass tube, we can consider here discharge tube, and here he made one perforated anode plate here. So now it is a negative end cathode and it is positive end, it is anode. So what he did, so in the next experiment, to find that these rays are exactly moving towards anode, to make it visible, he just took one material which is nothing but fluorescent material. So fluorescent or phosphorescent material we can say. So fluorescent or phosphorescent material on the zinc sulfide example ತಗೋಬಹುದು. So fluorescent or phosphorescent material ದು speciality ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, usually you might have seen fluorescent bulbs and cathode ray tube in televisions. So usually ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ fluorescent bulbs switch on ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ light on ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, switch off ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ immediate ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕತ್ಲಾಗಲ್ಲ. So bulb even ನಿಮಗೆ visible ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So that reason will be due to that fluorescence material which will be present inside that bulb. So this fluorescent coating will be given on the one end of the discharge tube. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ fluorescent coating ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, so whatever the rays, ಇಲ್ಲಿ rays ಏನು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ rays first ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆನೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ರೇಸ್ ಈಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, like charges repel together, opposite charges attract together. Now these are the rays which contain certain particles. They are obviously attracted towards anode. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಪರ್ಫೋರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಸೊ ಆ ರೇಸು ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್. ಹೆನ್ಸ್ because of the hit of these rays towards this fluorescent material or coating, there will be glow around this glass tube. ಸೊ ಆ ಗ್ಲೋ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಗ್ಲೋ ಬೆಳಕು ಕಾಣಿಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಲೈಟ್ ಗ್ಲೋ ಕಾಣಿಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸು ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ರೇ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ್ಯನೋಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ದಟ್ these are the particles which are attracted by anode, then they will be exactly having negative charge. That means he will just consider this rays which are emitted from cathode which are attracted towards anode, they will be exactly having negatively charged particles. Those negatively charged particles which are present in the cathode rays were later given the name as electrons. Now we can just represent that electron as E minus. That relative charge for an electron is given by -1. -1 is the relative charge for an electron. That is relative charge. Relative charge of electron. Electron. That is represented by e to the power minus. Got it? So that is regarding the discovery of electron. That is by cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Who did this experiment? That is J.J. Thomson. Got it? After learning about discovery of electrons by J.J. Thomson, now we can go for the characteristics of these cathode rays. So J.J. Thomson was able to analyze which are those different characteristics of these cathode rays, which are nothing but electrons. Now we can go for these characteristics one after the another. So which is that first characteristic? So cathode rays start from anode and move towards anode. As you know, in a discharge tube, whatever the rays which were emitted from cathode, so they will be having movement towards the anode. That means cathode rays which are containing negatively charged particles, obviously they will be moving or attracted towards the anode. And next, if you consider, these rays are invisible but they can be observed with the help of fluorescent or phosphorescent material. So he was able to just recognize the movement of these cathode rays with the help of the fluorescent material. So that is at which end? That is at the anode end of the cathode ray tube. He was able to find that glow of these rays. Once these cathode rays hit the anode end at the glass tube, then there will be fine glow of the light. So that will be due to the fluorescent material which was coated in one end. And now once he considered the rays which are travel in a straight line direction in the absence of electric field and magnetic field. Usually whenever these cathode rays are made to move in the absence of electric field or magnetic field, then of course they will move in a straight line direction. That is, their characteristic movement will be straight line direction. But of course, once these negative rays or negatively charged particles, cathode rays, they are made to move under the influence of either electric field or magnetic field, then obviously these negatively charged particles of these they will be get attracted towards the anode. That means they will show that a different characteristic with respect to electric field and magnetic field. Now we can consider, so one ray is passing, that is moving in a straight line direction. Once you can observe, here in this particular place we have kept one anode plate. Then obviously that negatively charged cathode rays, so they will be get attracted towards anode, then they can change the direction, they can get deflection towards the anode plate. That means these rays show the behavior of negatively charged particles in electric field and magnetic field. Hence cathode rays are negatively charged particles called electrons. So whenever anode plates come near to the electric, that is the cathode rays, obviously cathode rays will be get deflected towards anode plate. And next, the characteristics of cathode rays are nothing but electrons. They do not depend on the material of electrodes or the nature of the gas which is present in the cathode ray tube. Now, of course, in the cathode ray discharge tube, whatever that electrode plates were taken, so anode irbodu ಅಥವಾ cathode irbodu, ಆ anode ಅಥವಾ cathode ಯಾವ metal plate ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಆ metallic plate ನ change ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so now we can consider one time they can take a platinum, another time they can take gold. Like they will be just conducting the same cathode ray discharge tube experiment with different metals. But obviously whatever the rays which were emitted from different metals, those rays contains obviously electrons. That means it is not depending on the nature of electrons, does not depend on the nature of metals. Either they will be emitting from platinum electrode or they will be emitting from gold electrode or any other metallic electrode. The electron nature will be obviously one and the same. Next, you can consider even the nature of the gas. ಈಗ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸ್ ಏನು ಎಮಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನೇಚರು ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಇಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸು ಯಾವುದೇ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ಸೊ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನು ಸೇಮ್, ಹೀಲಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನು ಸೇಮ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನು ಸೇಮ್, ಐರನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನು ಸೇಮ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾಟಿನಮ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸು ಸೇಮ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ದಟ್ electrons are the basic constituent of all the atoms. ಅಗರ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು different types of elements. That means we can give the conclusion that hence the electrons are basic constituents of all the atoms. So now we came to know that electrons are negatively charged particles. They are present in an atom. And who discovered electrons? Electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson. After learning about the concept regarding discovery of electron and their characteristics, now we can go for MCQs, that is multiple choice questions. So ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ನೀವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರೀಡ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವೆರಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲಿ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ correct answer for that question. So now once you start with, which is that first question it is given here, name the negatively charged subatomic particles present in an atom. So in the atom there will be different subatomic particles. So here he is specifically giving those negatively charged subatomic particles. Obviously within a second you can give the answer. Now so protons, already you know the answers. So protons positively charged, neutrons negatively charged. No, neutrons are neutrally charged, electrons are negatively charged. Whereas nucleons, so these nucleons are those nothing but combination of both protons and neutrons which are present embedded inside the nucleus. So which is that right answer then? Obviously C is the right answer. So electrons are negatively charged subatomic particles. It's very simple question and easy to give the answer, right answer. Now once you go for the second question, negatively charged subatomic particles were discovered by. So only thing is now we can easily give the answer, but as I move to the next concepts, you will come across different theories with different names of scientists, then you will be having certain confusions regarding the names of the scientists. But of course now we can easily give the answer to this question, I think. So which is that scientist? One and only scientist you heard now. So that is J.J. Thomson was discovered that negatively charged particles which are nothing but electrons. Either they can ask electrons were discovered by whom or negatively charged subatomic particles discovered by whom. That is J.J. Thomson. And even they can raise the same question for 1 mark in theory question paper. And next question. In cathode ray discharge tube experiment, the pressure maintained around. So usually you should remember there will be maintenance of very low pressure. So that why we need to maintain very low pressure? Low pressure maintain ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು cathode rays movement ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That means you know that as there is increase in pressure, there will be obstacle for the free movement of the cathode rays. So because you know air also bad conductor of electricity, here atmospheric pressure will be not very less, it will be more. Now we can consider that which is that least atmospheric pressure we can consider inside the cathode ray tube, that is 10 power minus 4 atmosphere. So 1 atmosphere, 2 atmosphere, these are the wrong options. Then 10 power minus 1 atmosphere, it is also wrong option. Which is that right option? That is 10 power minus 4 atmosphere. And very next question. So once you learn the characteristics of cathode rays, now we can easily give the correct answer for this question, I think. So which is that question? Which of the following statements about cathode rays is wrong? So here you have to identify wrong statement, not the right statement. So you should go for that question. So read the question properly. Here is he is asking for wrong statement among these 4. So which is that first statement? Cathode rays are negatively charged. We can accept it as right statement. Then cathode rays move in straight line direction in the absence of electric field and magnetic field. Of course it is also right. Then cathode rays move towards anode in cathode ray tube experiment. So of course cathode rays are emitted from cathode and they are moving towards or attracted towards the opposite charged plate, that is anode. It is also right statement. And the last statement, the characteristic of cathode rays depends on the nature of gas. We can't accept this. As I told you before, electrons are one and the same, either it belongs to oxygen or nitrogen or helium, any other gas. Therefore, this statement is the wrong statement. Hence, which is that statement is wrong, but option is right. That you have to consider. Which is that question he has mentioned, whether he is asking for right statement or wrong statement. Then obviously you can consider option D is the right answer. So that is how once you learn any concept very clearly, then it is easy for you people to just go for these MCQs and choose the right answers. Got it?